Good afternoon, everybody. Thanks for joining us with Live with Jennifer Bailey this afternoon. Today we have our featured guest, Anna Valencia Tillery. Everyone in town knows who she is. She's amazing here in Vero Beach and Indian River County. She works for White Glove Moving and Storage, and she has decided to join us and answer a bunch of questions that have been submitted about moving and storage and all good fun things with that. Thank you very much, Anna, for joining us today.
Jennifer, it's an honor, and hats off to you for launching this. The technology is beyond cool, and your interaction with your group to get some good questions was really impressive.
Yeah, exciting. Thank you for deciding to do this with me. I think it's very helpful for everybody. All right, I'm going to just jump right in, and we've got quite a few questions that were submitted. One of the questions is timely right now with COVID and everything. What are you guys doing for CDC compliance?
Absolutely. And right off the bat at White Glove Moving and Storage, we took a lot of accountability in ensuring the safety, not just of our customers, but of our staff and, of course, the contents that we are responsible with when we have the privilege of being able to help families and offices in the moving process. Uh, as a moving company, we were still deemed essential, as were our realtors. And so it was important that we put things in place right away. One of the things that we implemented that I'm really proud of and that we will keep forevermore on our trucks, which are presently a fleet of 15, is these really cool portable hand washing stations. So we were able to team up with local providers, using local every time we can throughout the Treasure Coast. It's very important to us. We were able to get these large jugs, and we're able to fill them up with water each morning, and it has a spigot at the bottom, and we've made a basket that has antibacterial soap, seafold towels, sprays, hand sanitizer, and in doing that allows them to do more than just hand sanitize and get to task. They can literally wash their hands before, after, during, and so that is huge. Wearing gloves, yes, our name is White Glove Moving and Storage, and the white gloves are very handy when we're dealing with high art frames, that sort of thing. However, in the hot Florida humidity and sunshine, which we love, those rubber gloves can be a bit of a hindrance. So you having those hand washing with us and the hand sanitizer allows us to still really get a good grasp on the items without having to be too dependent on the gloves themselves. And then, of course, we're having face masks on our guys, especially with our leads when they're conversing with the customer one-on-one. In the process of the move, oftentimes we're face. So the crews are all pre-screened each morning. We're able to check them for symptoms and the like. So these crews work together and they're comfortable with one another and how frequently they see one another. So they're able to get to task and hopefully make the transition really easy for our customers in this COVID climate that we're dealing with. Prior to going out, though, internally, we work with a number of our customers to do pre-screening safety check questions and the like. So again, it's just helping to protect them, protect the employees, and then making sure that the items that we're handling are safeguarded as well.
Awesome. That's really great. Good to know that you're taking lots of care for health and safety of everyone, your crew, and the people who hire you. That's great. Thank you. Here's a good question. Do you set stuff up? And if so, is there an extra charge for that, like putting a bed together?
Good question. So the name White Glove typically encompasses being meticulous and handling everything from start to finish. So when we provide that complimentary survey for our customers, we more times than not are asking those same questions to get a sense of what their expectations are. If they're coming into storage, obviously we don't need to put anything together right away. If they're moving long distance and they're perhaps getting into a new house that isn't yet completed, again, they might not need assembly. But more times than not, customers do expect the assembly to happen. If we provide a bound price, it is included. If customers feel more comfortable doing a non-bound option, especially for those local moves happening within Vero Beach, within the Treasure Coast, then absolutely, it's just however many extra additional minutes it takes our team of experienced movers to assemble those beds. That would be the additional cost associated. And I'm telling you, our men can do what takes us regular folk that aren't engaged in the moving industry on the daily a fraction of the time it takes us. So literally, depending on the complexity of the bed, they might be done in mere minutes, and you would never even feel that cost at all in your final price.
Nice. That's good to know. Thanks. All right, here's another great question. There's so much in the contract. What do you recommend for people planning a move and going through that contract?
Yeah, that's interesting. You know, we really try and streamline the process. When you work with White Glove Moving and Storage, you get a dedicated relocation specialist at the time of your survey, as well as leading up to the actual move itself. Jennifer, you're in the industry. You know that sometimes people plan way in advance. They might want to get a proposal in place and build that projected cost into their sale, right? Others get it done 48 hours in advance of the time of the move. It's really oftentimes that happens. And if that's the case, it's okay, because they're going to have somebody there with them going over it and explaining to them what the different nuances are and options. Because unlike other movers that maybe just really provide the labor, you'll see some of them even add an extra charge for a truck. I don't know about you, but if I'm hiring a professional moving company, I'm thinking that the truck's included. One of the things that we're able to point out is that we have valuation coverage, because we are a more reputable mover with decades of experience. We like to be able to give customers that additional option. And so I think that's the thing that's probably the trickiest in the paperwork, is understanding what valuation coverage is and how it works. And again, they're going to get a dedicated team member to explain that to them. Easy peasy. And we even provide a highlighter.
Nice. Easy peasy and a highlighter. Like it. So how about your reviews?
Yeah. You know, we are one of the highest rated movers throughout Florida. As a matter of fact, we are active as a board member and a business member with the Better Business Bureau of Southeast Florida and the Caribbean. At this point, we are the only moving and storage company in the BBB's history to have ever been given the Torch Award for Business Ethics. And that is a direct translation of how we work and engage with our customers, our staff, and our vendors. So we're very proud of the high ratings and awards that we've received over the past several years from reputable sources. But reviews are important. And when folks are considering any type of service, I would highly recommend going through those reviews and looking to see just how human those reviews are. You know, if you see those responses, and you know, it's the moving industry, things have happened, rain happens, things happen. It's about how you stand by your company and try and make things right. That makes all the difference in a reputable mover versus someone a little less reputable. I think we've all heard the stories out there that can give someone the heebie-jeebies, but not to be concerned when it comes to White Glove, as we really are proud of our reviews and our ability to engage with the customers throughout that process.
Great. I've heard lots of good things about your moving company as well, and have referred several people to you guys as well. You guys are great. So do you have services for out-of-state moves?
Yes, and in fact, Florida is lucky enough to be one of the #1 states that people move to, right? So it's good for real estate, it's good for movers, it's good for all of those businesses that benefit from it. And they first come right from a tourism perspective. They come, they visit, they fall in love, they never want to leave. I get it. I did it too. And so, yes, as an interstate agent with Beacon's Van Lines, we can help facilitate the move, whether into or out of Florida, every step of the way, because Beacon's is just so reputable and so well known. 130 years in the moving and storage business, back when it was four strong carriages. I kid you not, Jennifer.
Wow.
And so they have a tremendous reputation with agents in every state, as well as additional partners throughout the globe. So it allows us not to just help with nationwide moves, but in the logistics side of things, we can help with an international move as well.
International as well. Great. Wow. That's nice. Next question we had was, do the drivers have background checks to be sure my valuables are safe?
That is a great question, because these people, you are literally letting them in your home, handling your prized possessions, and what we consider prized might not necessarily be high value in cost, but in sentimental value too, right? So yes, all of our staff is given background checks prior to employment, and more importantly, everyone goes through rigorous training. We do both on the job and in-person training, as well as virtual training and ongoing certifications throughout the year. So knowing that we have a reputation to live up to by being white glove moving and storage, we're really proud of the fact that our men are vetted first, but then really trained to the white glove standard, so that we can try and circumvent any potential damages that may happen from lack of know-how versus just those simple flukes that happen. But yes, they are all background checked, and we're really proud of that process. And then beyond that, we have within our company the opportunity to raise through the ranks and become a key player within the company itself. So we have some that are second generation with us. You know, their families love the white glove brands that they bring in their lineage, and as a result, we're just a stronger and better company because of the sense of morale that we create, and how that then, of course, reflects out in the field.
Yeah, I think that's really important. That's great. Our next question, do you cover the flooring to protect it from moving furniture?
Yeah, you know, each case is a little bit different. Obviously, price is a big factor when folks are moving. If it's not a brand new construction virgin home, we typically do not necessarily create any sort of barriers that could cause issues in the moving process when you're working with a couple of different people trying to execute the same goal. Of course, when at the time of the survey, though, we do make note of any high value, high wood floors. You know, those are definitely things that we take into account, and all of those associated costs are built into whatever that final price is that we give to the customer. So typically, if it's just regular tile and it's a straight move, no one wants to be having our men slow down or incur the additional material costs. However, there are many instances where it's very important, and we understand that, and we take those precautions.
Great. Do you issue a copy of the blank contract to review if we ask?
So I would happily do so, but it's not as though it's a 10-page contract or anything. It's really more or less going over what each individual move requires, and then simple signatures at the end. The more complex paperwork comes when it is an interstate move, and yes, we're happy to provide copies, blank copies of anything if need be, but more importantly to know that each individual move is more important than just what a blank paper would say, blank contract would say, as to their individual scenarios.
Okay, well, that makes sense. What items do you not move?
Ooh, this is a good one. So we are not to move anything flammable. We are not to move firearms. And we are not to move plants, especially over state lines. So on our website at whitegloveusa.com, we do offer up some Q&As with frequently asked questions, as well as some good options from a checklist perspective of things you could do a couple of weeks in advance. And I'm telling you, your neighbors would love to have your unused propane tank, and they would love to be able to benefit from a new plant if you're moving over state lines. So these are fun ways that you can, give away some things that, trust me, if you haven't used it within the year, chances are good you're not going to use it anyhow. Some of those things in your garage and whatnot, and a neighbor or a family member or friend would likely benefit from it.
Great. That's good to maybe something that you wouldn't necessarily think about your propane tank and moving it. So it just, maybe that's great. Does your insurance cover my belongings?
Yes. So in the world of moving and storage, we affectionately refer to insurance as valuation coverage.
Okay.
And there's lots of different options for the customer to be able to find comfort in having some additional protection. They can choose to do it on just certain high-end pieces, or they could in fact choose to do it on the entire shipment. There's different levels of deductibles for them that they can choose from. However, in the event that they choose to take no valuation coverage whatsoever, which is the right of any consumer, their items are in fact covered at 60 cents per pound as set forth by our federal government. So with that in mind, let's say something happens to a painting that is 3 pounds. They would only be getting $1.80 in the event that they took no valuation out on this said picture. And if it was a puzzle inside a frame, that might be great. But if it was appraised at $20,000, probably not great. And so again, that conversation happens at the time of the survey with their relocation specialist, so that they are educated in the process of how that valuation coverage works for their goods, whether they're moving across the street or across the country.
Great. Well, here's another good question. What happens if my closing gets delayed beyond my delivery time? Like if it's the day of closing and for whatever reason we're delayed?
So you're a realtor and you know that
Yes.
those things happen.
They do.
And they do. And so in the moving industry, we have to become very fluid. I like to say that we just have a giant pencil eraser, but really we're very tech savvy. And so it's not a giant pencil eraser, but yes, we understand that that happens, and it's all about communication. So once you've secured White Glove as your mover and you foresee some instances, some things in the horizon, the best thing is to converse with us, because chances are we already have a waiting list going. Another customer would love to be able to take that spot. But once you have signed and we know that we are in fact your mover, keeping in mind we require no deposits, nor are there cancellation date fee changes accrued either. It allows you to become a priority. So then if you know that it's technically going to be 2 days out, excellent, we can try and work with that. Another thing, and I touched on it just a bit earlier, Jennifer, is that with 15 trucks on our fleet, we can easily still pick up from your first property, because more times than not, we have back-to-back closings, right? So you have people that try and pick up from the first location and then arrive at destination with those simultaneous closings. If we picked up from the first location, we can simply hang on to items for 1 or 2 nights on our truck. There's a small fee associated with that, but it certainly allows you to know that your items are safe and protected in that interim. With companies that have just 1 or 2 trucks, all of those items need to be offloaded. They may or may not even have a storage facility the caliber of ours. And so now you have a giant question mark and you're kind of nail biting going, what's going on with my stuff? Whereas with White Glove, you know that it's either on a truck or safe and sound in our warehouse for the short time that it needs to be held on to until we can get you to your destination for whatever reason that might have been.
That's really good. Here's one. Do you move pianos?
You name the type, and I'll tell you what, we move it. Yes, we are certified piano movers.
Oh,
So
good.
play pianos, upright, baby grands, organs. We move a lot of organs for our worship community and the like. So yes, we love to move pianos. Each piano requires a certain number of guys depending on the size of the piano. Uh, it might require an extra guy or two if you happen to be moving that piano up several flights of stairs. But just know that yes, we are happy to do that, and that would be considered a specialty item that we would ask at the time of your survey. Same case in point would go for something like a golf cart or a pool table, even a vehicle. We can handle those things. It's just again a matter of talking about it up front so we can make all the special accommodations that are needed.
Great. Okay. Well, and you just mentioned stairs. So here's our final question is, do your movers go up stairs of any kind, like spiral staircases, lots of stairs? And what if it's really heavy going up or down the stairs, like a copy machine or piano in that case?
Yes. So I have a slogan that I like to say for our movers that we love stairs and elevators, so you don't have to. And it's totally true. We genuinely know how to maneuver items upstairs better than most. Spiral staircases are different. It does require sometimes some cranes, some dollies, depending on if the staircase is inside or out. So in our 2 decades of experience, we've had to align ourselves with some awesome vendors throughout the state of Florida to help us circumvent some things going into penthouses in downtown Miami, to a gorgeous Medusa head outside of a custom oceanfront estate here in Vero. And same case in point when it comes to copy machines, we do a number of office relocations. In fact, we have a close relationship with our own copy people where we help them move a number of copy machines at various businesses on their behalf. And yes, it takes a level of finesse, but we certainly have it to be able to make it happen.
Fantastic. Well, thanks so much. Well, that finishes up the questions that were submitted. Do you have any final closing comments or want to tell us a little bit more about White Glove?
Well, sure. Honestly, we are headquartered out of Vero Beach. We service the entire Atlantic coastline and much of Florida, especially when it comes to large commercial projects. Aside from being just residential movers, we do have a team within us that specializes in FF&E. It stands for furniture, fixtures, and equipment. So we work with a number of new assisted living facilities, clubhouses, and hotels to ensure that all of their items are received and then ultimately delivered and hung. We do have certifications to hang custom art pieces, which is very important to a number of our customers. Another thing that I'm really proud of is we do everything in-house. So when it comes to that high-end art, nothing is outsourced, especially when it comes to custom crating. So everything is taken internally from White Glove so that there is no one to point the blame or the finger at. You know exactly where everything's going to be and the accountability for it. And we do have some really great tools on our website. We have a brand new website that we're very excited about, whitegloveusa.com. Look at, isn't she pretty? Since COVID, I've been spending a lot of time with this website, working on page by page. And if we hover, so right from the homepage, you can see we have some quick and simple steps of how it works and the opportunity to do a complimentary quote, and we call and help you set up all of that. Here it also shows a number of our affiliations and awards. We're very proud of the fact that we give back to the communities that we serve in a number of different ways. And I think that that's important. I like doing business with businesses that support the community as a whole. And so we believe in that, and we support local every chance we get. There's a number of videos on there, great testimonials. However, Jennifer, if you could so kindly hover on the about From there, you can see that we have employment opportunities. At this point in time, we are very proud to be growing our team of professional movers. So if you know someone within your circle of influence that is looking to join a team that is very community oriented and team oriented, great pay, great benefits, paid time off, you name it, the simple online application is here, and they can fill out those questions as well as upload a resume. And then one more thing, if I may, if you hover on the About just once more, and we go down to resources, and you'll be able to see there that we have a checklist countdown, moving tips, an office moving guide, and more. This is just great ways for folks, whether they're moving locally or nationwide, to know that they are keeping pace with things and ensuring that they're getting everything done, because there's lots of things that we might overlook. More times than not, people are in a home for 2 to 4 decades before they move. So there's lots of hiding places. There's lots of things that we might forget that we need to do. So these options really make it easy for you to just kind of put a check mark beside it as you go through, know which things you're converting and changing over, and hopefully it'll make it just that much easier for you in the process.
Super helpful.
Super helpful. Awesome. We try, honestly, we try, and we have a great team. So anyone within our office can answer questions on your behalf for anything that's upcoming. And as I mentioned earlier, we love folks that plan, but there's always curveballs that come our way. Your grandson might have been supposed to help you move, and then that closing got pushed back, and now you need to hire the pros. White glove, we're here for you, and more times than not, we'll try and move mountains to make it happen.
Fantastic. Thanks so much for joining.
Oh, Jennifer, thank you. I appreciate the opportunity and everything Dale Sorensen does for our beautiful community too. It's community players. That's what we do.
Yes, it is. Thank you. Have a great one.
See you. Bye-bye.